Where do those rumors come from? And what's the truth with the departure of Max Kellerman from First Take?
Well, the rumor's accurate in terms of me wanting him off the show. Let's get that out the way. Yes, I did.
Hey everyone, I'm Ben Schneider. And sometimes projects for this channel come to me out of nowhere. I have an entire list of video ideas, and then one day, something hits me out of the blue. And you know what I realized recently? It has been a long time since I've watched an entire episode of First Take. For a long time, First Take was my favorite show on ESPN. I'd try to catch episodes as often as I could. I'd watch the highlights on YouTube, and I'd even DVR the show if Philadelphia sports teams were dominating the headlines. But in recent years, I've been watching the show less and less. And nowadays, I usually just catch the occasional YouTube clips at most. Now I'm quite busy these days, but believe me, if I take up interest in a television show, I will find a way to work it into my schedule. So today, I want to explore why I've stopped doing that with First Take. How did a show I enjoyed so much become a complete afterthought for me? Well, let's find out. As I frequently do on this channel, let's get caught up by briefly going back to the very beginning. First Take's origins can be traced back to Cold Pizza, which began on ESPN2 in 2003. The show featured a rotating panel of co-hosts, and it gave us our first look at Stephen A. Smith going head-to-head in debates with Skip Bayless. Jay Crawford often hosted the show in the moderator's role, and in 2007, the show evolved into what we still know to this day as First Take. Now make no mistake about it, Stephen A. is First Take. He's the face of the show, and these days, he's arguably the face of ESPN entirely.
Let's go to number one on the list. Guess who? Me! Why? Because I'm Stephen A., that's why.
But his relationship with the network hasn't always been smooth sailing. He actually left ESPN in 2009 and was away from the network for a couple of years. He came back in 2011 as a columnist and radio host, before returning to First Take in 2012, where he became one of the two permanent stars of the show. Skip, on the other hand, had been with ESPN since the mid-2000s without interruption, and had appeared on First Take since its inception. You can say what you will about Skip and some of his out-there kind of takes.
One day, I am predicting, Johnny Manziel will become even bigger in the city of Cleveland than his buddy and business partner LeBron James ever was in the city of Cleveland. One day, the passing connection of Johnny Manziel to Josh Gordon.
Can he, right now, at 52 years old,
Right here, right now.
beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and beyond, come on.
You know, Stephen A.
Oh,
Smith?
gosh, don't do this.
You know? He just might be able to.
Don't do
He
this.
just might be able to.
Father Time is undefeated. It's not about training. It's not about all of this stuff. It's ridiculous.
But it's hard to deny he and Stephen A. had great chemistry in their 4+ years together on the Embrace Debate era of First Take.
Hold on, wait a minute. Will I get fired if I walk off the set right now?
No, you
I said, hold on, wait a minute.
You know what? Because you have no comeback.
I said you have
No,
to.
I'll let you off the hook
Hold on,
here.
wait a
You
minute.
got no comeback.
Wait a minute. You're telling me
Is
that Tim
Marcellus
Tebow,
Wiley
Tim
in the house?
Tebow,
We need to get Marcellus out of
Where is he?
He needs a blow.
Tim
He's out.
Tim
We
Tebow
need
is
a
more
tag
box
team
office
partner.
than Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Than Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Is Tim Tebow more box office than LeBron?
I think so. It's the National Football League. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers he did in his games last year. It's through the roof. You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, I told you, I only need really one player on my team, and that's Michael Jordan. So, voila, here's my team, and I'm going to have you read the names for me. Could you read my 4 teammates?
Oh, my God.
I just, in honor of you, I want you to read the 4
Tiago Splitter, Rasho Nesterovic, Kwame Brown, and Slava Medvedenko.
It's Stanislav, actually.
Oh my God! That's a joke on me.
No.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That is a joke on me.
No, that's a
That team could beat anybody because it's got Michael Jordan on it. I almost just put Michael Jordan solo on my team, just have a one-man show. But I thought, why not those other 4? Because they're 4 your all-time favorite
Let me
players.
treat the sport of basketball with the respect and deference it deserves. Because clearly you're blasphemy with that list. How could you show up on national TV and do such a thing?
Whether the subject was LeBron James, Tim Tebow, or Skip's Dallas Cowboys, First Take's ratings went through the roof now that the show's identity had been established. Skip and Stephen A. worked together full-time for the better part of 4.5 years. And despite the occasional controversies, the two turned the show into one of the more popular programs on ESPN. But after the 2016 NBA Finals, Skip left ESPN to start Undisputed on FS1 with former NFL player Shannon Sharpe.
Clearly an end of an era today here on First Take, in a very emotional day for all of us. For the final time, to my left, Skip Bayless. To my right, Stephen A. Smith. So good to see you. I'm Molly Karam. Good morning, guys.
My man. How you doing, bros?
You had a long, great playoff run.
Thank you.
And you had to battle to get back here. Long, hard trip from Oakland, California to New York City to Bristol, and we appreciate that.
Had to come say goodbye to my brother.
Thank
you know
you.
that. I'm here. I would never have done First Take if it were not for you. I had no desire to do this until you asked me to do it. It was long overdue. It was something we both wanted for a very, very long time. You're just one of the best people that I know. I love you like a brother. I know who you are, what you've meant to me, what you've meant to this network, what you mean to the world of sports. We're not just colleagues, we're friends. We are polar opposites.
We are.
We don't do a lot of the same things. We certainly don't believe a lot of the same things. But I have always believed in you. We will keep in touch. We will see one another. And wherever you go, and I know where you're going, but wherever you go or whatever you're doing, you're family. You're family to me. You're family to my family. You always have been, and you always will be. I love you, and I wish you the best. I'm going to get up and give you a big hug.
Let's do it.
Take care of yourself. All the best to you. You know it. All the best to you. All the best.
One last.
Absolutely.
Skip, we love you.
Thank you, Molly.
Won't be the
Love you.
same.
I am going to miss my brother, Stephen A. Smith. I am going to always root for him, and I will always be there for him, as I was a few years back when ESPN let him go.
Sharpe was also coming over to Fox Sports from ESPN. And I wonder if ESPN ever looks back at Shannon's occasional First Take appearances and realizes that they basically hosted the audition for Fox's new show that would be competing against their show.
I have always belonged right here on Fox. Fox isn't owned and operated by Walt Disney. Fox isn't owned and operated by Walt Disney.
It's all pretty amusing when you think about it. Regardless, Skip's departure created a huge vacancy at the network, and ESPN would turn to Sports Nation to find his replacement.
Max, who do you blame for the whole Fultz situation?
You ready for this, Molly?
Oh,
you ready
I'm
for
ready.
This, Stephen A?
Buckle up.
Sure.
I blame Stephen A. Smith.
What?
What?
And by the way,
Me?
Max Kellerman has been around covering boxing since the 1990s. And while many people know him best for his commentary in the world of boxing, younger viewers may not realize that he's actually had a pretty diverse career in media. After briefly pursuing a rap career with his late brother Sam, Max got his start in boxing commentary no later than 1995, when he was only 22 years old.
Since last week when I said that, a lot of people have come up to me, Max, you really think Roy Jones is the best already? Who's he beating? Only James Toney and Bernard Hopkins.
In the mid-2000s, Max appeared on an MSNBC show called Tucker, with Tucker Carlson. I can't believe this is real. I can believe this is real, but Tucker on MSNBC? Max Kellerman on a Tucker Carlson show? Seriously, this feels like it belongs to another part of the multiverse. Like, is this part of a Doctor Strange 2 trailer or something here? Max also spent a couple of years at CNN, but he's best known, of course, for his work at the Worldwide Leader. After originally being hired by ESPN as a boxing analyst, Max became the original host of Around the Horn in the early 2000s, a show that is still on ESPN to this day. After he returned to the network, he spent 3 years on Sports Nation before getting the call to replace Skip on First Take.
I'm Molly Karam, and we welcome the newest member. We are so fired up of the First Take family here, Max Kellerman. So good to have you.
very much. Let me just say, let's get it on.
Yes.
Mills Lane.
All right, let's get into it.
Max's first show aired July 25th, 2016. And he and Stephen A. didn't waste any time getting into it.
I think he made the best possible choice.
Hold it. Max Kellerman,
Am I hearing you correctly? Are you sitting across from me saying that on your first show, the very first segment of the first show, you're sitting here saying you have no problem whatsoever with Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors?
No problem.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
No problem.
Really?
Did they win the whole thing?
No.
They didn't win the whole thing.
Listen.
The Warriors lost to LeBron James.
Okay.
So this is, okay, they lost in the conference finals. The Thunder did to the Warriors. Years from now, conference finals, no one cares years from now.
Can I get real? Can I get real?
Tom Brady's just about done. It could be his next game he plays. It could be a year from now. But he is going to fall off a cliff. Tom Brady is going to be a bum in short order. Now, what do I base that on?
Can you say that again?
Yes.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Did you just say that Tom Brady is just about done?
Yeah.
And he's going to be a bum in short order? Is that what you just said?
Correct.
A bum in short order.
Yes. It's going to happen in an eye blink either this year or next.
I thought I was done with stuff like this. No, it may not have been about Brady, but I actually thought I was done with stuff like that. I thought that a new era of First Take, you know, there would be, you know, I can't believe what I just heard. Tom Brady is is just about done. Tom Brady is about a year to 18 months for falling off a cliff.
6 months.
Tom Brady, never, ever in my wildest dreams did I ever believe that I would see anybody, especially you, who knows sports as well as anybody, who knows, knows what champions are made of, to talk about a four-time champion who you admittedly recognize as the greatest quarterback ever, and you say he's just about done?
This close. This close. Off the cliff. Conor McGregor has exactly a 0% chance in this fight.
I respectfully disagree, Max Kellerman. I really, really do. I respectfully disagree. I defer. Like I tell you, I do what you should do when it comes to basketball. I do what you do with boxing. What you should be doing with basketball, I do with boxing. I defer to the expertise of the great Max Kellerman. But I would say this. I give him a 1% chance, which is a puncher's chance. I mean, anybody that gets clipped right, you just never know.
The quarterback with the most to prove this weekend, Stephen A. Smith, is Tom Brady.
What?
Tom Brady.
You're the best.
Tom Brady
has the most to prove. Hold on.
to prove.
Pause. Nick Foles.
He's not going to be
Case Keenum.
anyway. He's good. Everyone knows that.
Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
They have less to prove than Tom Brady?
Blake Bortles has plenty to prove, not more than Tom Brady.
You listen to this. I can't take it. I can't take this. Go ahead, Max.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yes, he is.
We're not talking about what he's already done. What you have to prove, and you have to do it every week, especially on the Patriots, is why they're the best. You have to prove that you are still that dude and you can be that guy going forward.
With the game on the line, one shot, who would you rather have taking it, Iggy or Curry?
Of everyone on Golden State, open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala. That's right. And I know what that sounds like. And it's not fair to Steph because so much defensive attention is paid to him. And I'm not saying Steph's not a better shooter. He's a way better shooter. Iguodala's got ice water in his veins.
But why? Why is because he's going to be left open. Why is he left open? Because Steph Curry is his teammate.
Stephen A. and Max clearly had good chemistry together. But if you ask me, things got even more entertaining when another certain Dallas Cowboys fan showed up.
I don't care if people like me. I don't care if people dislike me. I just like them to dislike me for the right reasons.
Okay, that's fair. I just want to make sure of that because I want you to understand that anybody that sits in one of these chairs, you're going to get hated.
Like Max Kellerman, Will Cain has had one of the most interesting media careers in recent history. Before he joined ESPN, he was a political contributor to CNN.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Before coming to the worldwide leader in 2015. By 2016, Will was making occasional appearances on First Take, particularly in the weeks immediately following Skip's departure. In fact, just 2 days after Skip's last show, we got a taste of what a Stephen A. Smith versus Will Cain debate might look like.
Good morning.
What's up, man? How you doing?
With us.
Good. A lot of people looking forward to this, to you putting me in my place.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
Oh, no, they are.
I doubt that. I do what I do. Let's go.
There were even some rumors that Will was in the running for Skip's spot on a permanent basis. While Stephen A. and Max were always the stars of the show, by 2017, Will was undoubtedly First Take's third most recognizable panelist. But here's what sets Will apart. From a political standpoint, he's certainly more on the conservative side of things. If you need proof of that, just go look at where he is now. I don't want to get too political here, but shows like First Take inevitably get political at times, so I think it's important to at least mention. You could say Will is maybe more moderate than his Fox News counterparts. He did make it clear he didn't vote for Trump in 2016.
By the end of this segment, I will be vilified for defending a proposition that I neither voted for and have written publicly against. I did not vote for Donald Trump, and I have publicly written against it.
But regardless, his politics certainly put him at odds with Stephen A. and Max at times. But it wasn't just political disagreements. Will was born and raised in Texas, and as such is a die-hard Dallas Cowboys fan. And anyone who's ever watched First Take certainly knows how Stephen A. feels about Cowboys fans.
Let's get to number 2 on the list. Oh yeah, Cowboy fans. Why? Because people like Fat Joe's brother, Rich Player, that's his name. People like him, this damn fan base, acting like they won, acting like they're relevant, acting like they're a championship team, and they ain't won a damn championship since 1985. Back then, not only did I have an afro, damn it was curly. They thought I had some stuff in my family. You are the typical Dallas Cowboy fans. You see what you want to see. You don't see reality.
Stephen A. Smith, do you feel bad for the Cowboys?
You asking me that question?
In your heart, deep down in your heart, do you feel kind of bad?
Well, me?
They handled their business. They win this division. Therefore, the division is not closed.
You're pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourself showing up on national TV with that smirk on your face, that delusional smirk that's associated.
Just handle him in 30 seconds. Walk himself into a corner.
Don't interrupt me. Sit there and listen. It's people like you. You epitomize why I despise Cowboy fans. It's not even the Cowboys I hate, it's their fan base. The fans, you're the most disgusting, nauseating, delusional fan base I've ever seen. Y'all just make me sick. Will Cain epitomizes the typical nauseated, disgusting, get on my last damn nerve Cowboy fan.
I epitomize other things people say too.
How do I prove this? Before I get to the list, I see some people standing around here. I gotta get security. I want this man out of my sight right here. Get him out of here. He's got no place in here. Get rid of him. Number 1 on the list. Cowboys fans.
Oh, you don't need scissors. Okay.
What's in this gift?
That was aggressive.
Not a cat, Molly.
What's in here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing. No division crown. No playoff victory. No Super Bowl. Absolutely, positively nothing but Dallas Cowboy fans. That's what's in this Christmas gift. That is my Christmas present to all the Cowboy fans across the world. Absolutely, positively nothing, because that's what you deserve.
I wish I had a cap so I could tip it to you, Stephen A.
So messed up.
That is my gift
The
to
Grinch
Dallas
right
Cowboy
here.
fans. Absolutely, positively nothing.
Say what you will about Will's political views. I certainly don't always agree with everything Will says on those subjects. I don't always agree with Max or Stephen A's political takes either, but then again, when do any two people's politics line up exactly perfect these days? Regardless, it's very hard to argue against Stephen A versus Will being even more entertaining than Stephen A versus Max. If you want proof of that, take a look at just a few of their best moments together on ESPN.
Lesson number 1, Will Cain. I'm gonna pray for you, brother.
Don't you touch me. Don't you do it. Don't you. I'm gonna cut you. I'll cut you.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Cute.
Don't do it, buddy.
Thank you.
I just want you to know, I feel your pain.
Get off of me.
I do, man. I want y'all to know, the Will Cains of the world,
If there was a hug.
people like that. Hold on. You want some?
All right.
Are you from Texas?
That's right.
Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. That's one of the problems right there.
I live in New York now.
I don't care. You don't care. That's like Skip talking about he lived in Oklahoma City. Take your behind back to Oklahoma City. I don't care about that. It doesn't count.
Max was unable to do the show because of his HBO commitments, but I have something for you.
But, what you mean he's not here?
He's not here.
What the hell is Max? He's not here?
No.
So who the hell is coming instead of him?
Negative ghostwriter. Come on out!
And now, welcome in the Texas Talker.
Oh, my
the
Lord.
pluralistic pride of Pepperdine. The dawn of debate.
Mama, he made it.
The bad gift for Stephen A. Smith. Will the Thrill Cain. My people.
Will you sit down? This is just embarrassing.
Billy, can I get a little help here?
This is just embarrassing.
Look at his health.
This is just embarrassing. Oh, my Lord. This is some disgraceful stuff. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself for even sharing this. Seriously.
That's not good enough for me. The floor is yours. I need answers. What the hell is that, Will Cain? They're a Super Bowl contender. As far as I'm concerned, any team that makes the playoffs is potentially a contender. Excuse me, I need specifics. The floor is yours. Try it again.
Fair.
Take your time.
I hear you. No need to yell.
Yeah, I'm getting on you. You ticked me off right there. You tried to be slick. This ain't the damn courtroom.
So what you want me to do? You want me to nail it down?
No.
You want me to nail it down? Is that what you want me to do?
Nail it down. Do you have the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl? Yes or no?
Well, I haven't made my preseason picks
hell with
just yet.
that.
I'm going to unveil those on the Will Cain show.
Really?
Let me tell you something.
That's a teaser?
Which you can catch 3 to 6 Eastern right after the Stephen A. Smith show on ESPN Radio.
Say it if it's true. Go ahead.
Stephen A., I don't know if you just heard me. I don't know if you heard any of that.
I didn't. I try not to hear your voice as much as I possibly could get away with it, Mr. Cain. Why are you bothering me at 5 in the afternoon?
You just get done working out?
Yes.
What'd you do? Cardio?
Boxing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was behind these debates. I run into that if I go too far?
Say what?
I run into that if I go too far? A little boxing, huh?
Hey, Max, have you seen Will Cain? Have you seen Will Cain? Is he anywhere around, Max? I'm just wondering, is he around?
He said he'd be available. Apparently, he's not.
I'm getting tired of this.
No. You did your yelling. You did your rant. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
Want me to be cool? Want me to be cool? So,
No.
You want me to sound mellow? Is that what you want me to do? See, we got a boss over there. They got a boss sitting over there. We got a couple of bosses watching us. I want y'all to know this. I'm very, very happy with our ratings. We don't need to grow. We don't need to prosper. We don't need to give it. Hey, Will, you sitting there. You like your seat. Is it comfortable? Is it comfortable? Is it comfortable? Let's sit right here.
Because that team has overperformed because of the performance of Tony Romo.
Overperformed?
Listen to me, not under. Their failures are not because of Tony Romo. Tony Romo has gotten them to that point.
The Dallas Cowboys overperformed? Is that what you just
Stephen
said
A.,
on
I have an
national
answer for
television?
you.
Bad
Did
defenses.
you just say that on national television?
Yes.
They overperformed.
Stephen A., I have an answer.
Tony
I have an
Romo.
answer for you. I have an answer for you. Will, nice try, but your Dallas blinders are actually stopping you from the obvious answer.
You think the Dallas Cowboys would have been worse off over the last decade they'd be better off had they not had Romo?
No, they're better off with Romo.
Goodness.
But the answer as to why he has an outsized place in the hearts of Dallas fans generally is because they were so desperate for a good quarterback because it had been so long. They finally got one and wished he was great. And because if you squinted hard enough, sometimes he looked like he might be, you're pretending he is.
Max, why even talk? Just look at him and laugh. He said Tony Romo and the count. They overperformed, Max. There's nothing to talk about.
There's
Just
more
laugh
than
in
one
his
guy
face
on
the
a
rest of the
football
way.
team.
You
There's
got
more
to be
than
kidding
one on
me.
an offense.
Well, you bring joy to all of our faces. So good to see you. Welcome back
They
to Bristol.
overperformed.
Cowboy Claus is here.
Hey, what's going on,
I
Will?
brought gifts.
Very merry.
Thank
yes,
you.
I haven't gotten any
I
Christmas
came
gifts
bearing
yet.
gifts.
Oh, thank you very
Okay.
much.
It's a Christmas miracle. Hold on, Stephen A. I have a real Christmas miracle for you. I have the one thing every good boy needs for Christmas.
Max,
a little
yours
bit
up.
of hope. Is it coal?
Max will
No,
remind me.
it's not coal. Your Pittsburgh Steelers just need a little bit of hope this Christmas.
That's inspired.
They just need a little bit of hope. This, my friend, is for you. Lean back.
Lean
back. That's all you need for Christmas. Little Baker hope.
And zip it, because not only are you on my show, but I'm on vacation. So I came off my vacation just to spend time with you. Fall back for a second
That
and
makes it
listen
my
up.
show
my
today.
issue with Phil Jackson.
I know you can look at a piece of paper and see 1 and 1. What I question is your ability to add it up to 2. I'm worried about your analysis, not your facts.
But you do. But you know how to add it with your non-basketball knowing self. You know how to add it up to. You know how to add it up to 2 better than me. Really? Really?
Yes.
In what world?
Yes. You have led a mob with pitchforks to get what amounts to mediocrity fired.
I don't believe I have.
One more thing.
But if you're saying that I did,
hold on.
let me pound my, hey, I'm not mad about it. I don't care.
But you start trotting out the something will go wrong line right now. It's mid-August. We haven't even had game 1 yet, and you start trotting it out, setting it up, teeing yourself up for something that could happen to 31 teams by the end of this season. 31 teams by the end of the season. You're teeing it up today.
Well, answer me.
You only got to be right one
This is a
time.
beautiful moment.
One
This is a
time you
beautiful
have to be right, and then you crow on TV.
Hold on, Will. Molly, this is a beautiful moment. Max, this is a beautiful moment. It's August, right? Did something just go wrong? I mean, are we not sitting here because something has gone wrong? I mean, isn't that
would be an accurate statement.
He gets everything. He gets every game of the season. Hold on.
That's what happened.
This is you.
I mean, it's not
Yeah,
my
the timing
fault.
of that comment, not perfect, Will.
Will, it's not my fault. It's not my fault, Will, that somehow, some way the Dallas Cowboys, April, May, July, August. I mean, when games ain't being played, they still manage to mess up stuff. It's not my fault.
Listen,
it's not me. Don't
here's
put it
what
on
I
me.
point out, because I know this is escaping you. This is escaping you.
You know what? Y'all are comical. Hey, excuse me, a statement win in the same breath as the 49ers? Really?
I mean, this is really funny. I'm amused by this. This is comical to me.
What is the 49ers record this season?
It's 0-7.
Thank you.
Okay, now I told you not to go down that path, Molly. It's like in the cartoons with the rabbit trap. I knew. Set the one little set. 49ers. He comes in, he knocks it down, and it traps him in the box. And you ran into the box with it.
Fact-based arguments predictable? I mean, what the hell am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I mean, you act like, oh my Lord, it's predictable. What am I supposed to say? They're winless.
Okay,
and you're going off about the San Francisco 49ers being a statement. It's embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself. Go ahead. I apologize.
You can't talk your
Go
way
ahead.
out of this
Go
rabbit
ahead.
trap.
I don't have to.
Is the Cowboys season over?
Who cares? I mean,
That's how I feel about this football season.
I've been saying that for years.
That's how I feel. Now you know what it's like to be a Giants
this is
fan.
beautiful. This is a beautiful
Yes.
moment. Hold on, Max.
Throw
Molly,
in the towel.
Let's step back and give Will the floor
Okay.
to vent and let it all out.
Let it out.
Will Cain, take your time. The floor is yours.
I'm disgusted.
This is Christmas. I don't know what he's going to do on Wednesday, but I know this is Stephen A's Christmas Day. Go ahead. Where do we find Mr. Stephen A. Smith this morning?
Oh, the Scrooge is here. The Scrooge.
Oh, God. Oh, it's the greatest. Oh, yes. Good morning, Stephen A.
How do?
How do? Stephen A., I believe you're acquainted with our friend Will Cain here.
How are you, sir?
Mr. Scrooge, Mr. Scrooge.
Stephen A. Smith is FaceTiming me, too. Hold on, look at this.
Well, you know, while I was with my family last night, I took the liberty of FaceTiming Mr. Will Cain.
This isn't even
This is just cruel. This isn't even for public consumption. This is just cruel. This isn't even for TV.
But I will give this man right here, Will Cain, some credit. He did answer that call, had his beautiful children in the background, you know, and it worked because when I saw him, and I saw those little kids, and thinking about Christmas, and how they were gonna be affected, I said, you know something? Old Stevie A can't do this to the kids, because you know I love the kids.
If you have to pinpoint the one thing that bothers you the most, what is it?
The one thing that bothers me the most.
I'm very interested in hearing.
The one thing.
Yeah.
Can I have two?
You can have as many as you want.
These two.
Okay.
That's the two things that bother me the most. Stephen A. Smith and Dan Orlovsky. The only thing that interrupted Dan Orlovsky's gloating last night as he FaceTimed me was Stephen A. Smith's gloating as he FaceTimed me.
There's a whole bunch of ifs in that argument. If I go to Hair Club for Men, my hairline will be 3 feet forward. I mean, what the hell is that? There's a whole bunch of ifs. What does it mean? The bottom line is that you either believe it or you don't. I still believe in the Warriors.
All right. I believe in your hairline. Coming up.
Welcome back to First Take. We are coming to you live from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17.
Yoo-hoo!
While Stephen A. is in LA, look who's here.
Oh my, where is he?
The smartest man on set today, Will Cain.
Stephen A. I don't understand. Did he not come today?
You showed up. No, he didn't show up
It's
today.
weird, though.
Yeah.
Today he's not here?
No.
Maybe.
No, couldn't make
Stephen!
it back in time.
He'll be back on Monday.
Stephen!
Or will he?
Gosh, where is he?
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's
My
what
day
I
anyway.
do know,
I'll
Will.
take the chair.
Wow,
Will,
he's
this
just
is what I do know.
sitting
This
in
summer,
Stephen A. Smith.
you picked the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, ma'am.
And everybody laughed in your face.
feet up
Called
on
you
his
a biggest
desk.
homer.
Will
No
Cain's
one
got
can look
his
at you
feet up
sideways
on
this morning.
Stephen
I
A.
want to give you
Smith's
props on
desk.
that.
You were looking under chairs for Stephen A. Smith at First Take. Was he hiding from you?
What do you think? Did you see him on camera? Was he in New York City? I mean, of all the people to not show up to South Street Seaport Studios, I'm Mr. Unpopular here. I show up on a daily basis wondering who hates me, and he doesn't have the nerve to show up?
Tell us more, please, about how it felt, though, to wax that behind.
It felt awesome.
Ah! Woo! Stephen! Stephen! Stephen A! Where is he?
Because I do the radio show, and I did the radio show and the television show from Texas Live yesterday, because I was wearing a Drew Brees jersey, because I sat there and proclaimed adamantly and vehemently that not only the Dallas Cowboys would lose, but they would get stomped, but they would get beat down. Because I said those things. And I was so flagrantly wrong.
I'm sorry, but this is the way it rolls. You give it to me all the time, you gotta take it back today.
And I want to emphasize, the clips in those 13 minutes you just saw were just a few. When Stephen A. and Will were on set together, it was going to be good television. The combination of the two of them is just that good. I haven't been shy about enjoying Will's commentary in the past either. The only show I still kind of paid a little bit of attention to is First Take.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think that can get pretty entertaining, especially when Will Cain's on, because he brings a different perspective, I think, than Stephen A. and Max.
Which is good. I mean, we could talk for another hour on that alone.
And I think this is something I've really come to realize at this point in my life. Debates are more fun when there are more people involved. When 3 panelists are in the conversation instead of just 2, it allows for a wider range of opinions and perspectives. And for a show that revolves entirely around debate, I think it's even better when a third person enters the conversation. Eventually, Will took over the 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. time slot on ESPN Radio, making him the lead-out show for Stephen A's program. And by 2018, both their shows were simulcast on ESPNEWS. This means that for a couple of years, you had at least one First Take commentator live on the ESPN family of networks for 7 out of 8 hours from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I really think First Take peaked around 2018. Within just the last couple of years, the show had moved from ESPN2 to ESPN, and had also relocated from the network's Bristol studios to New York City. There was more Stephen A., Max, and Will than ever, and the chemistry those three had with moderator Molly Karam made for so many unforgettable moments.
Yeah, well, I just noticed, Will, on Twitter, Max Kellerman says that Will Cain doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's interesting.
Listen, I agree with that point.
Kellerman say anything, so now I know.
It's weird. I don't know. I just noticed it on Twitter while you were talking.
The only change they made around this time that I didn't like was getting rid of the final take. It gave one of the panelists a minute or two to offer some final thoughts on one of the day's topics, and it left the viewers with something to think about as the show came to a close. It was a little puzzling to me that they stopped doing that, but otherwise, things looked good, and there were no signs of slowing down. 2019 was largely the same story. Will even tried out being the moderator for a few weeks, and he was surprisingly popular in that role. Fans even lobbied for him in the comment sections to be given that role on a permanent basis.
Stop telling me to wrap this segment, producers. I don't. You understand what's happening right now? You two are having my favorite debate in the history of First Take. I don't want to talk. Can we extend it? Whose franchise is a bigger disaster? The Giants or the Steelers? I have come on this set for year upon year, and I have been told one line to my deathbed over and over. What can go wrong will go wrong. You two have taken your shots at the Dallas Cowboys from day after day to month after month to year after year.
I didn't even look at it that way.
And today,
the Dallas Cowboys are actually better off than my Steelers right now.
You two have a debate over who's worse. Who is a bigger disaster? Let's go 10 more minutes.
A pox on your Cowboys house, Will Cain.
I'm going to tell you who won that debate.
At least they still have...
I won that debate.
At least you still have your coach. We can all take sides.
All right.
In that.
God, that was fun.
But unfortunately for First Take fans, massive changes were right around the corner.
I got to tell you, in the history of being involved in the show and watching you, this is the weakest argument I've ever heard you make. Well, let me amend that. The cliff argument, which we should rename the gentle slope argument.
He says as Tom Brady's free falling. Go ahead.
It's no longer the cliff, just to be clear. It's Max Gentle Slope Kellerman.
More of a ravine? Okay, I'll go.
This is the weakest, man.
The pandemic obviously disrupted a lot of things in sports, and the sports media landscape was no exception. In mid-2020, Will announced that he would be leaving ESPN by the end of June.
I imagine it won't come as a surprise to many that are listening. The Will Cain Show will come to an end on ESPN Radio at the end of June. Here's what I'll ask of you. I will ask you to stay with me. Join me wherever I end up. Join me in continuing this conversation, keeping me accountable. I do not believe my future will be one written where everybody around me will be one that I agree with. And I'm going to ask you, not just out of craven audience building, but from my, and I hope your, mental and spiritual growth to keep holding me accountable. That's what I want. I think it's what you want too. I think it's why most of you listen to the Will Cain Show. I want to say this about ESPN. I've loved it. Every minute of it. I've loved it. Even when it was hard and you were by yourself, or when everybody thought you were wrong, or when it was fun, the way sports is supposed to be, I've loved every minute of it. And I do love ESPN.
While he hadn't appeared on First Take very much towards the end of his time with the network, he did make one final appearance on June 24th, 2020.
Second of all, Will, we may not always agree on sports, Cowboys fans, or politics, but you know how highly I think of you personally, and I'm grateful for your friendship. I want to say to you, congratulations on your new opportunity. It is much deserved, and your new team is very lucky to have you. Stephen A.?
Molly, can I say this? Can I say this real?
Sure.
Let me say this real quick. Will Cain and I are polar opposites. We think nothing alike, okay? We always usually disagree. I always find you to be fair-minded. I always find you to do your homework, and you stick to your positions, and you're not afraid to say what you feel. I appreciate your contribution to this show. I'm going to miss you, and I thank you for it, my man. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, guys, the last 5 years of
fun to
ESPN
argue with you on TV. Fun to watch a fight with you, too. And best of luck in your new venture.
I just want to say the last 5 years have been awesome at ESPN, and some of my favorites have been on this show, this set right here. I appreciate all three of you, and I really do think the conversations we've had over the last 5 years have not just been entertaining and fun, but I think they've been healthy and more of what this country needs. We need people of disagreement to come together in an open forum. I've loved that about First Take.
I agree. Will, please keep in touch, and we'll talk to you soon.
2 days later, Will hosted his final episode of The Will Cain Show, and by August, began appearing on Fox and Friends Weekend.
Stephen A. Smith was absolutely a champion of mine. My relationship with Stephen A., to me, is a lot of the ways we should interact with people. Not perfectly, but pretty close in real life. We had it out, man. We had it out on serious subjects and light ones. We had it out over the Cowboys. We had it out over big issues in this country. And every time it was over, we dapped it up and it was done. He believed in me. He championed me. And I'm indebted to Stephen A. Max and Molly, big parts of my career.
I do think it's a shame Will chose a return to political commentary over sports. He played an important role at the network, and I completely agree with what he said on his last First Take appearance. It's important for people of disagreement to have these conversations and force us to consider why we believe what we believe. Stephen A. and Will, who often had two diametrically opposed views, could come together and keep it mostly respectful at the end of the day. And in today's world of extreme polarization, it makes the conversations they had a model for the entire country.
First of all, you're a highly, highly intelligent and accomplished man.
Appreciate it.
I got a lot of respect for you.
Thank you.
As a person. You've accomplished a lot of great, great things that a lot of us could only wish to accomplish. You deserve credit for that.
Thank you.
Understand that Will Cain, no matter how heated we get, I got love for the guy. Will Cain is a good dude.
Will Cain, you can come at me all day, every day, any day of the week. I happen to know that you're a very good guy. And even though we disagree, we gonna still be boys at 12 noon. It's all right.
We know that about each other. That's right.
We have a difference of opinion, and we argue and butt heads. And guess what? If he was in the same city as me today, we'd probably have a drink tonight. I like Will Cain. And I want everybody to understand that just because we disagree doesn't mean that I don't like him. I think sometimes people get caught at that. We can disagree with stuff and still be perfectly okay. And Will Cain and I spoke after the show, and everything's just fine. He is entitled to his feelings. I am entitled to disagree. We are entitled to butt heads about that, along with anybody else, without people taking it the extra mile and thinking that it's more to it than us simply having a different point of view.
In April 2021, Will launched his own podcast, which has allowed him to re-enter the sports commentary world a bit. He's even still going after Max's cliff take.
I've always, expected him to, and he already has, broken every actuarial table, every curve. He's flown way over the proverbial cliff. If anybody's ever watched ESPN, they know what that means.
Max, meanwhile, was also nearing the end of his time on the show. He remained on First Take through the middle of last year, with his final show coming on September 1st, 2021.
I cannot believe it has been 5 years. We have had so much fun on the show. Obviously, the pandemic. Max, honestly, I've had so much fun sitting next to you. All the travels, all the trips, getting stuck at airports, all that things. You're a class act, but most importantly, I've met a friend for life.
Anyone who wants to know about Molly, salt of the earth. It's great to know you, and exactly, a friend forever and all that. And Molly made me feel so welcome right away on the show and gave me the lay of the land.
Somebody else wants to say something. Do we have Stephen A. here?
Yes, you do.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Can y'all hear me loud and clear? All I wanted to say was to call in and to thank my man Max for the 5 years. Originally, when we talked, it was supposed to be a 3-year run, and the next thing you know, it's a 5-year run. And we've been number one every single year. And you had an awful lot to do with that. I wanted to thank you for your contribution to the show. I wanted to call and wish you nothing but the best moving forward, because you're going to be doing big things like you've always been doing big things. And I just wanted to let you know, my man, I'm calling to wish you nothing but the best. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't be there to tell you face to face to thank you for everything that you did for the show over these last 5 years. That's
Thanks,
why I was
Stephen
calling.
Stephen A., I'm glad you called in. It means a lot. And as did, people understand that Stephen A. had a lot to say who was going to be his partner after Skip left the show. And I was honored to have been chosen, and wouldn't trade the last 5 years for anything, and appreciated it through the years. All things come to an end, and that's the end. This is the end of my run on First.
The only constant in life is change.
But while Will's departure from First Take came as a result of him leaving the network entirely, Max was essentially forced off the show. Not because he was leaving ESPN, quite the opposite. He still hosts radio shows for the network, and also has a new show called This Just In.
I want Iguodala.
The reason for Max's departure was actually because Stephen A. himself wanted a change.
The internet says that you wanted Max Kellerman off the program. I saw him say goodbye the other day. You called in, but it didn't seem like you and Max had a bad relationship at all. So where do those rumors come from? And what's the truth with the departure of Max Kellerman from First Take?
Well, the rumor's accurate in terms of me wanting him off the show. Let's get that out the way. Yes, I did.
Now, this wasn't because Stephen A. and Max had a bad working relationship or anything. But as I mentioned, at the end of the day, First Take is Stephen A.'s show. And part of his philosophy is to keep things fresh. So after a 5-year run, Stephen A. simply wanted to change things up a bit.
We don't have a bad relationship. I think he's a real good guy. I appreciate what he did for the show. What a lot of people don't realize is that not just the work that goes into that, but also the fact that it's a chemistry that you have, and sometimes it just stalls. There's no knock against him personally, his professionalism, his work ethic, and all of that other stuff, his talent. It's not like I wanted the guy to be fired or anything like that. I knew that there were landing spots for him available at this network that would generate just as much, if not more, revenue for him and all of that other stuff. And it wasn't really about asking him to be off the show. It was about the fact that I knew that we together, as far as I was concerned, was not a great partnership anymore. And that was something that needed to change. When you're trying to win and win for a long period of time, you don't stand still. You know, championship squads change all the time. And so for me, I remember in 2012 where First Take was on the verge of cancellation, and Skip Bayless asked me to come on board. And I come on board, and a month later, we go #1. That's 9 years ago. And we were #1 for 4 years. And then Max comes on board, and we #1 for 5 years. Well, that means I've been #1 for 9 years. It means I got a pretty good idea about what I'm doing when it comes to this show and what's necessary in order for it to work.
Right. How did Max react to that?
He disagreed with me. And he disagreed with me 3 years ago. He disagreed 2 years ago. He disagreed this time. We've always understood where we stand with each other. And he also knew that it was nothing personal and it was nothing against him as a talent. I got a lot of respect for Max, and I genuinely like Max as a person. But I just didn't feel that, you know, moving forward, he and I together was the right call. And I said that to the bosses. They disagreed with me a few times in the past. Evidently, this time they understood and they made the move.
So if Max replaced Skip, then who replaced Max? Well, several people, actually. There hasn't been one single replacement for Max. And this is ultimately why I think I've lost some interest in the show. When you don't have one regular panelist, it makes it harder to stay invested in the program. You never know if the next one is going to be someone you enjoy watching or someone you don't enjoy watching. I think you saw something similar when Jeopardy was going through its parade of guest hosts. And it's why I still think either Ken Jennings or Mayim Bialik should be named the permanent host of a daily syndicated show at some point. Now, in complete objectivity, what doesn't work for one show may work better for others. And recently, First Take's ratings have been trending back up. You can say the Super Bowl coverage helped, and I'm sure it did. But I think this is a more clear-cut explanation. Chris Mad Dog Russo. This exchange in particular was the most entertained I've been while watching First Take in a long time.
Greatest shooter
Let's go through
in the history. You really
Let's
want to
go
do this?
through
You want to do this?
Let's go.
That's fine.
Can we go through them?
Let's go. Let's go. We got
All right.
MJ. We got LeBron.
No.
Okay.
I do the asking. I'll do the asking.
Okay.
You got a series to win for your life. Bird or Curry? Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
He got me. I can't go against a healthy Larry Bird. I can't go against a healthy Larry Bird.
Magic or Curry? Magic or Curry?
Well, it depends on what I need.
Game on the series on the line.
Listen, Magic is the greatest point guard in the history of basketball.
There you go.
Steph Curry's the greatest shooter. Steph Curry's the greatest shooter.
We're not talking about shooting.
What do I need?
I'm talking
What do I
about
need?
winning championships. Game, series on the line. You got a chance. Your life's on the line. Okay. You want Magic? You want Curry? Don't tell me Curry. You know you're wrong.
I'm going with Magic. With Magic.
You want Kareem or you want Curry?
Kareem, of course.
You want Russell or you want Curry? Oh, come on. He won 11 championships in 13 years.
That's not the point. Wait a minute. He's never averaged more than 18.5 points in his career.
Mad Dog and Stephen A. seem to have very good chemistry. So while a permanent second panelist probably isn't in First Take's favor at this point, it's probably not a bad idea to have Mad Dog on the show as often as possible going forward. He's polarizing and certainly has his detractors, but then again, who hasn't throughout the show's history? Plus, we have to be fair to Stephen A. At the end of the day, this is his show. He's been here the longest and he has the best idea of what the show needs. Personally, I thought he and Max worked well together, but he's certainly earned the right to make changes to the show as he sees fit. So now I'll leave this up to you all. Do you like my new First Take? Or do you still think the show needs a second permanent panelist? Does the show work better with 2 panelists or 3? Also, let me know if you're still watching First Take at all, and if you are, why, and if you aren't, why not. I look forward to keeping this conversation going in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.
Let's get it cracking. Let's start the session. March list the competition, balls by that action. You can never debate it. This is actual fact. Stephen A. and Max Kellerman say they say it's a rap. I'm like, say what? Say what? What's up with all my haters? I'm a ball when I perform. So my jersey's in that.